Hello, and welcome to Secrets from Athletes, where we dive into what makes a top athlete and how you can apply their routines and mindsets to your own life. I'm your host, Andre Schall, and today with me I have my friend John Shin, and I commit to Emerson College to play Division for U volleyball. How's it going today, John?
Going great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you for being on. I know it's your birthday yesterday. Do anything fun to celebrate?
Yeah, I had great food. I had Jollibee, my favorite fast
Ooh,
food restaurant.
Jollibee. All right,
And then, yeah,
nice. So, volleyball, how'd you get into it, and what made you stick with the sport?
it's a very funny story actually, because I never really intended to play volleyball in the first place. Before playing volleyball, I played basketball my whole life. So I would say around from sixth grade to my junior year in high school, basketball was like the only sport I really wanted to play. And I felt like that was my purpose. But it was my summer year during my junior year. I went on a mission trip for my church and I met this guy. His name was Zenas, and he kept telling me for some reason, hey, you should play volleyball. You have the build and it's pretty fun. And I didn't take any of the things he said seriously because at that time I believed volleyball was more of a women's sport. So I didn't see why, a man would play volleyball. But he kept like insisting I should play for the week I was there, and I was like, you know what? Let me shut him up. Let me just let me just try out because I knew there was a new boys team at Robinson. So I went and I tried out, and somehow I made the team. And I don't know what clicked there, but as soon as I made the team, I got this spark, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should start trying a little harder and see where it goes. And yeah, ever since then, I've been playing volleyball.
Mhm. That's I think a true like story of like how it's never too late to start something and like find a passion for it. Where was there a specific moment where you're like, I want to do this in college, I want to do this as a collegiate athlete?
Yeah. So after I made the team, the same guy, he wanted to help me out a bit more, get a head start on some of the guys, and just help me have a more successful, I guess, career. So he offered to train me every day, like at 5 a.m. So for the first month I played volleyball, I would wake up at 5 a.m. and just train with him. I mean, at first, I didn't really want to do it. Obviously, who would want to get up at 5 before school and put in the extra work for something, especially that you don't have a passion for? Because I still assumed back then I was still going to be playing basketball in the wintertime. But after just going there consistently and, spending more time with him, I realized that, hey, maybe this is worth it. And that's where I kind of found the spark to keep playing volleyball.
Nice. Man, that's honestly a really inspirational story for everyone who's like, I don't know if I want to get into the sport now, it's a little late. It's never too late. So you had this
Yeah.
guy who was a very influential in your getting into volleyball. Was there any advice he or someone else gave you that you'd say is like the best advice you've gotten?
Yeah. So this might be very simple, but to me, it's one of the most powerful things you could do. It's just somebody having belief in you. So what he would always tell me is before every workout, and even after we finish the workout, he would always tell me, do not limit yourself. You always have to believe in yourself because if you can't believe in yourself, then no one will. So he always told me to have that unwavering belief in yourself because with that belief, he was like, yo, you could do anything you want. So always have belief in yourself. And he was always telling me like, yeah, I also have belief in you. I believe in you. And just somebody believing in you, I think really fuels your belief in yourself as well. So just having people around you believe in you and also believing in yourself is really important.
I feel like self-belief is something a lot of people struggle with because it's like, oh, I messed this up. Oh no, I'm not good. But like you're saying exactly, having one other person believe in you can really inspire you to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about advice, what's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self looking back?
Oh, that's kind of a hard one, but if I had to really look back at my, sports career or just my life in general, I think one thing I would tell myself is just don't be too hard on yourself because I feel like especially as a younger athlete, I didn't really have any guidance on, how to deal with pressure or how to deal with losses, like losing a match or just having poor performances overall. And looking back, when I had those moments where, maybe, I had a really bad game or we lost the game and I was really hard on myself. I'd always be like, "Oh, I'm not good enough," or "Oh, we lost because of me," and that really led me down into like a spiral of just negative thoughts. And then continuously having those thoughts, game after game after game, really like has an impact on you, and it makes you kind of fall out of love with the sport. The sport. So definitely just try not to be hard on yourself because it always works out in the end. And especially because I'm more of like a Christian athlete, it really helps me to just, trust in the higher power and just go with the flow because at the end of the day, you're not the one in control. So leaving it up to the higher power is something that's really helped me. So just not having too much pressure on yourself and just enjoying, the game.
Yeah, I feel like that's great for like the best way to truly reach that like higher level of performance and actually enjoy it is like you're saying, simply let go, let whatever happen happen. So I know you said that part of the way you would get out of that like negative funk is you believe in your higher power. Was there anything else you did personally to get out of that negative spiral?
Yeah. So this is a really funny story. I would just stumble across a YouTube video one day, and it was just about NFL players and how they prepare for their games. And a big thing, a lot of these NFL players, especially like defensive players, like linebackers or tackles, they would always. It was really ridiculous. Like I don't. I'm like laughing because it's so ridiculous. They would just like tell themselves like, "I'm the best. Like ain't nobody stopping me. Like you think anyone's stopping me? Like yeah, I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers." Like they would go on that extreme and they would say it out loud. And looking like as a normal person looking at it, you'd just be like, what are they doing? Like you sound ridiculous. And and then throughout the video, they were just talking about how it was proven that doing these kind of self-talks and positive self-talks is actually really beneficial for you. Like even as ridiculous as it sounds. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try that. So just during high pressure matches, especially in volleyball, where every point matters, I would just always tell myself, like, as ridiculous as it sounds, like, hey, I'm the best. I'm gonna get this kill, or I'm gonna get this block. Hey, I'm gonna win this game. Just keep telling yourself that. Just keep reinforcing that to yourself. Really, really helps you in the long run, and it just sets you up for success.
I think that's like you're saying, it does look ridiculous, but I can say from my own experience, it works. It really does
Yes.
work. So since you're talking about volleyball, I don't know that much about the sport itself. Is there a specific position you play, or are you kind of like all around? Like, how's that work?
Yeah. So I'm a right side hitter, so it's also called an opposite hitter. So you're on the right side of the pin in the front row, and I play that position because I'm a left-handed hitter, and usually, um, as the other left side of the pin, so the outside hitters are usually more right-handed. So the coach just put me in as a opposite hitter, and ever since then, I've just been playing that.
Hmm. No, so you're like in the front row, getting all the blocks, that kind of things, right?
Yeah,
All
but I
right.
am kind of undersized for my position.
Hmm. Hey,
Yeah,
it's not
because
the size of a
usually,
dog, it's the dog in the fight that matters.
yep, yep.
So you talked about having some negative spirals during your sports. What's the biggest challenge you faced, and how did you push through it?
Oh man, um, I would say I have two instances. So the first instance was when I first started playing. It was like a few months in when I was first playing volleyball, and I had joined a new club team because it was recommended to me that you have to join a club team in order to improve and just get exposure, as a lot of college coaches come and see the matches. So I joined a club team, and I have no experience in volleyball, so I just had no idea how anything worked, how practices run, what drills we do, and the expectations. So it really took me a while to get used to it, and it was really hard at first, but I'm really thankful because I had a lot of great teammates, helping me out and just teaching me about everything. But I'm not trying to point out anybody here, but there was this one kid. I'm not gonna name who he is, but he would give me a hard time because I mean I don't blame him. I wasn't that good. I was terrible. But I would always make a mistake and he would always get mad for no like he would just get really mad at me. And that really just brought me down a bit because I was just starting out. I didn't know how things worked, but I feel like his negativity and his anger towards me kind of helped spark a fire in me to, basically where my mindset was now, hey, you know what? I'm gonna prove you wrong now. Talk all this smack about me now, but in a few months you're just gonna be on the bench looking at me while I succeed. So long story short, that did end up happening. Now, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but the dude stopped playing volleyball and I'm playing for the highest competition, playing at the open level. So I feel like that's a good revenge story.
Yeah.
And the other story I would have to say is it was more recent. It was it was during the winter and it's when I had a ankle injury. And this ankle injury was really, really hard on me because it forced me to sit out for 3 crucial weeks because at that time there was a big tournament going on in Arizona where a lot of Division 1 coaches and a lot of high prospects were being scouted. So it was a really great opportunity for me to go showcase my skills. But unfortunately, due to my injury, I had to miss out on that opportunity. And just during that time, it was really hard for me, especially just being an athlete who's active almost every single day to just sitting in bed, rotting, doing nothing. It was just really hard for me, but I figured things out, and everything turned out to be all right. I committed to a college, so I'm just happy that it all worked out in the end.
Yeah. I mean, those are quite the stories there, but I think that's the great thing is like once you can get that fire and just keep moving forward, even like injury, it happens. You just got to keep moving forward. On the topic of injury, what is your like advice to other athletes who might be going through that? Like, how'd you stay like consistent and hopeful?
Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's really hard, especially if it's like your first time getting injured or having like a major injury. It's really hard. And I wouldn't say that you're, I would say that it's not depression, but I guess at the same time it is depression. You become very like depressed. And one thing I regret is just, kind of letting that depression kind of get to me because there was a lot of chances where I just could have been more positive and just, be more hopeful. But I feel like you just have to be more positive and you have to look things in the more positive, outlook because just being negative and just being hard on yourself isn't going to change the fact that you're still injured. And you just have to have a more positive outlook like, hey, I'm going to come back stronger. This is only temporary. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be fine. And you're going to be fine at the end. It's just during those rough moments, it's going to feel like, nothing's going to go your way. But yeah, definitely be more positive. And another thing is take your recovery seriously. Definitely just keep working, do your recovery every day, like no days off.
Well, days off because you need rest days, but like in the way, like keep
Yeah,
striving
yeah,
through
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it sounds like you've learned a lot of skills, both technical for volleyball and life skills in general. What do you think is the best skill you've learned from your sport, and how do you apply it outside of volleyball?
So I would say the best skill I've learned was composure and just, regulating your emotions because especially in a really intense, set, like there's a lot of intense moments in volleyball where there's a lot of long rallies or points don't go your way or balls come flying in and you just have to make a split-second decision. Just being able to stay composed in those, intense moments is really crucial if you want to be successful. And overall, I feel like just being composed in life is also a very good thing or a valuable skill you could have because especially in life where, there's a lot of unexpected turns or a lot of unexpected things that happen your way, just being able to stay composed and, you know, figure the situation out in a very composed manner is what sets you up for success because you can't let life break you. So you have to be able to stay composed in those situations.
I think that's absolutely right. If you're able to be like, whatever happens, happens. I'm who I am. I can keep going forward. I'll overcome this. I think you become like unstoppable. Like that idea we were talking about earlier with self-belief.
Yeah,
So for
definitely.
athletes to go like collegiate level, they need to be pretty damn good. What do you think separates good athletes from great athletes in general? And do you think that's similar to successful people just in general in life?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that I feel like isn't talked about enough is I've also noticed this about a lot of the great athletes that I've been with because a lot of my teammates at my club team play for the Division 1 level. And a lot of these players, and especially a lot of the other great players that I've, watched, is they have a way of bringing out a sort of this alter ego. As ridiculous as it sounds, it's really important to have an alter ego when you're playing a sport if you want to be at the top level. And I'm gonna try to explain this to you to the best of my ability, but let's say you know me, I'm a very nice guy, right? So let's say I'm playing volleyball and I'm playing as just myself, like I'm a nice guy, and like it's just having like, especially in like a mentally tough environment for volleyball, you can't like be a nice guy or you can't just, you can't be yourself because it's gonna break you and you're just gonna end up going into a spiral where you can't perform to the best of your ability. So having like this alter ego, right, is really gonna help you just stay focused and locked in because you could always switch out of your alter ego at the end of the day. Like after the game, you could be yourself, you could be the nice guy, hey, like good game, but during a competitive match, you have to stay locked in. You can't really be nice or you can't really be yourself because it's just not going to work out for you. So I feel like all the great players have this sort of alter ego.
I mean, I completely agree. I've seen actually that, excuse me, have been a lot of like scientific studies that those alter egos, having one does like boost performance for sports. I mean, you had Kobe, rest in peace, the Black Mamba. You have Justin Jefferson, Jettas. You have all these like different alter egos, and I mean, they're very successful players.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you have a lot of fun stories that you've said. What is the funniest story or superstition you have from volleyball? It could either be yours or one you heard from someone else.
Hmm, I think one really funny moment I had in my career was it was still the beginning of my career and it was when I got my first game winner. I was really bad, so I don't want to make the moment seem like it was the greatest moment of my life because I was still a sucky player. But basically, what happened is I got the game winning point, and everyone just went crazy, right? And I don't know what went through my mind that day, but especially because it was the NBA playoffs back then, where Tyrese Halliburton was playing against the New York Knicks, and he hit the choke celebration. I hit the choke celebration, and oh my gosh, looking back at it, it was not the right thing to do, but I almost got carded, so I almost got a red card for celebrating after a
Oh
game,
my
and it was
God.
yeah, but I think I don't regret doing it. It was fun, and it's just the memory that I'll have for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you got to live on the edge sometimes in sports. I mean, there's one saying I heard from one of my coaches was, "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying." Now, I'm not saying here you're cheating, but you're like pushing it a little bit with the celebration. I think that's truly like
Yeah.
the passion for the sport. So, last question before the blitz questions. I'll explain what the blitz questions are. They're really easy. Is so I know you're going to
Hmm.
Emerson College. What's going to be your major? What are your plans for like volleyball in the future?
So I'm gonna be majoring in sports communication, especially since the sports communication, area is very big in Boston, as you have teams like the Boston Celtics or the New England Patriots and the Boston Red Sox. So I talked to one of the communication majors there, and he was talking about how the Emerson Alumni Network is very big, so getting internships and just getting connections is very, very easy. And also, he was talking about how he landed a full-time job as a New England Patriots. I forgot what it was, but he's gonna do very well. So he was just saying how sports communication is a really good major. So I was like, you know what? You got me there. I'll just do it. I'll do
All right, then who knows? Maybe I'll hear you as a commentator in a few years on one of the
it.
games.
Yeah.
All right, so time for the blitz questions. This is how I end each episode. It's these quick, fun questions. You don't need to think too much about them. So, favorite day of the week?
It's gotta be a Friday.
Any specific reason or?
Yeah, so on Fridays, there's open gyms for volleyball, and I always look forward to those. And yeah, it's just Fridays just have this type of aura that just it's just a very nice day to be.
All right, all right. So I know you said Jollibee's is your favorite fast food place. What's your go-to meal there?
Go-to meal. It's gotta be the six-piece fried chicken bucket with the Jolly spaghetti on the side, and then peach mango pineapple thirst quencher. It
Ooh.
always hits.
All right,
Always hits. Yeah.
I got to try that. I got to try that.
You
What?
definitely got to try it.
All right. Who is your favorite music artist?
Oh man, favorite music artist? Ah, that's a really hard one, but if I had to choose one, I would have to either go with, let's say, I'd probably say Drake
Drake. Okay.
because he always hits. He got everything.
All right. Solid choice. Solid choice. What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, it's got to be either between Whiplash or the newest movie, the Project Hail Mary.
I haven't seen either of them, but they're both on my list. I gotta watch them. I gotta watch them. All right. And now the final question: what sport would you play other than volleyball? And because you already played basketball, I'm gonna take that out of the equation too.
I would definitely be a soccer player.
Soccer player. All right.
I'm a big soccer fan, and I've also played soccer when I was younger, but I was really never that good. So maybe if I was good, I could have been like Sun Heung-min. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'd definitely be a soccer player.
All right. What's your favorite soccer team?
Real Madrid, Hala
Yeah.
Madrid. It's got to be Real
All right.
Madrid.
They aren't doing, let's see, they aren't doing that bad this season. Okay, second. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All
Yep.
right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, John, for being on. I wish you the best of luck at Emerson. I'll keep watching what you do there.
All right. Thank you so much, Andre. Thank you for
Of
having me. It
course.
was an honor.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thank you all for
Thank
tuning
you.
to Secrets from Athletes. Make sure to follow on Instagram at secrets_from_athletes. We'll be back with more secrets from athletes to help you refine your mindsets and routines. We're also on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and now iHeartRadio. Thank you very much.